Whoa! Is there music? I can't tell if there's music. Is there music sounds? Is anybody hear the music sounds? South Carolina Cichlids first into the chat. Oh, V-Stag, what's going on? Punky Pam, Pro Skater, 7-Eleven, and Eddie West amongst the mix. What's going on? It's Thursday, everybody. Thursday. Internet! Oh, huh? Oh, the dog wants out. Hold on. Go get it, baby. It's a good thing the dog wanted out right at the beginning. Oh, I guess it's not playing the sounds. There's no music. Internet! Well, I don't know why. I had turned the music on today, and I guess it wasn't playing. I got poked right here. Yeah, well, either way. What's up, Internet? Another lovely, lovely Thursday out there in the earth. Oh, that's a dirty hand. I got some dirty hands, folks. Been out there just grinding it, being dirty, being a dirty hillbilly, like I normally am. I got stuff on my hat. I got stuff on my hands. I'm just dirty, kids. I'm just dirty. Oh yeah. What's up, Internet? I got to do the Internet part. Surprises! Oh, I got to do that part. I don't know if my voice is in it yet. I gotta get my voice warmed up, guys, so you sound real official. Hey, how's everybody doing? Well, should we check in on the traffic? On the nines? Oh, it's 8:19 here in Tacoma, Washington. Bumper to bumper on the I-5. Everybody's sitting there chrome to chrome. Gosh, I'm not feeling it yet. Guys. Delicious coffee. Love that coffee, you guys. Had to get a little coffee in me there. Starting to fall asleep, getting tired. How's it? Hopefully everybody, like I was saying, hopefully everybody's having a fantastic Thursday out there. Mine went fairly well. Crawling around crawl spaces, getting dirty, doing drywall. The usual nonsense that I'm up to on a regular basis. But weather was pretty decent. As you guys, I bet a lot of people noticed, no live stream yesterday. We've had a little bit of drama for your mama from the mama. We've been helping Victoria's mother get moved, and her car broke down, and so I had to head down and get the car running. Some repairs today were done whilst I was working. From our lovely cousin Nick came through to spin by and help out and get the car repaired. So that has and that will continue on over the next couple of days. So if there's some not the car trouble, but the moving and stuff. So our schedule's been kind of thrown for a loop because we're signed up to help, because that's how it is. When family needs help, you show up to do it. So that's what's been going on here. That's why there was no live stream last night. And we shall see how things progress over the weekend here of getting everything done. Our schedule just keeps getting jam-packed full of stuff. Rurutu is here. Feel my swag. I forgot to say, hey, man, howdy. Happy Thursday. Aquarium Co-op is here. What's up? And Joel Gillett, straight out of New Zealand. South Carolina Cichlids. I think you're pretty, where you're at is pretty explanatory in your name. Yeah. And glad that everybody's here tonight. And Renan is here. Oh, good. Man, I was starting to freak out. Thanks for showing up. But like I said, things have been a little bit hectic, and they might continue to be a little bit hectic, but nevertheless, shall be plugging along ever forward. I have some minor good news, some whatever news, whatever you want to call it. I am working on the networking of the internet here at the house. I have some parts coming tomorrow, so I'm going to be actually expanding the internet service at the home fortress. Is that what we should call it? The home base, because all of our base are belong to us, right? Going to be expanding the internet service here, which means I got to crawl around in crazy attics and stuff like that. But two reasons that's important. Number one, we apparently have hardly any web service in the shop, and we also have hardly any cell service back there because something happened to one of the cell phone towers over there. Off in the distance that way, something happened to one of the cell phone towers, and I really don't know what happened to that cell phone tower, and they've been mysterious about exactly what happened. So we've been down like cell service at the house here, so we have to use Wi-Fi, and we have to or if I gotta walk around with my phone a little bit and be like, and if I go out in the back, I can't get cell service, which is very odd. But so I'm going to be expanding the Wi-Fi here and the internet network. I'm going to be expanding it outward and making it bigger. Now, the upside for you guys on that one, I should be able to live stream from my phone in the Fishroom for the meantime, and then at some point in time, I don't know when, so don't hold me to this. I don't know when I will be. I'll be putting a computer out there at some point in time. I don't know when, but that will open up that availability to be able to do that. And but the cool part will be I'll be able to live stream from my phone if there's ever a reason to do that, like fish acclimation unboxing or whatever, or maybe some point in time I'll do a live scaping video again. Did a few of those back in the past, and so maybe we'll do some more of those. And Eddie Kaitia is back from wherever he went, man. I was really starting to get worried about Eddie, and I was about to start emailing him, and if I had to, I was going to send him some, something like this in the mail. Just send him a brick of lead. Like, hey, buddy, where are you? Where you at? Where's your kettlebell? Lift some weights. That's loud when you drop it on the floor. But I was wondering where Eddie was. I'm glad you're back, my man. Back to the world. So some other things I want to mention here while we can is... I need the freaking... I forgot to flip the switches on the carburetor over here to get the carburetor to work properly. Okay. So, what we got here. Now, hold on a second. Something strange in the neighborhood. Something seems strangely weird here. Something seems strangely weird. Okay. Thanks to you guys, we were able to acquire a matching microphone that will actually match the inputs. So I'll be able to get a second person in here. Now, we're still a little bit under the weather as far as our equipment goes here to get a camera hooked up that is going to work properly. I've been kind of looking through a few things to see what's up, which might be easier or not to whether I want to run my DSLR here, because I have this DSLR that I bought with my dineros to hook up for this live stream, and we just need to get a capture card at this point, which I'll be able to actually shoot the room big enough with this camera to get a much better angle on everything and a much wider shot on everything and a real steady frame rate image, basically. So that's up and coming, but now we have 2 mics, and now I can almost assuredly get somebody like, Victoria to come in here on some of these live streams, which she will be in the short future. Currently, right now, she's digging in the yard, which I will show you some of that in a little bit. Eddie Kaitio with the super chat, my man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's all going right back into all of the production, the fish room, all that kind of stuff. It all goes right back into producing more of this, but probably better quality. But like I said, I did mention that we have the other 180, which is going to be, I'm going to start building out, finishing out building the stand for that. God, I got fiberglass in my shirt again. This is like 2 streams in a row where I've got fiberglass in my shirt. I've got the other 180. I'm going to get that going. We talked on Tuesday about setting up the 75. I'm just going to set up the 75 for Vicky because we keep waiting to find a 120, and she even brought it up to me. She said, hey, screw it. Let's just set up the 75, and if we find a 120, we can always just swap it. And so I'm going to go with her advice and do what she tells me to do, which is I'm going to do that. The funny thing about that one is that some of the spray paint I used on it has chipped. A lot of it having to do with the move. Another thing having to do with sometimes a product is not exactly what they say it is on the label. So it didn't take out too well. So hold on a second. Yeah, that paint didn't take too well. So I'm actually going to try some different stuff that is kind of funny, but I'm going to see if it works well. It's that, as seen on TV, spray rubber stuff. So I'm going to use that to black out her tank. And then I actually have an idea about, once I crack that can, I'm going to be using it. So I'm actually going to spray it on a sheet of acrylic too and see what happens to the acrylic. If it doesn't do anything to the acrylic, it might be a viable way to, spray backgrounds on acrylics too. So I'm going to test that out. I'll be sure to make a video out of it and see what happens. Some chemicals really affect acrylic, some don't. So we'll see what happens. We might be okay, we might not. We could be living in the danger zone like Goose and Maverick, and we might end up in a flat spin out into the ocean, and Goose will die, and then I got to throw his dog tags out into the water because I don't think I'm Goose in my own making fun of Top Gun story, right? Oh, crap, maybe I am. Maybe I am Goose, although he did have the much hotter wife. Let's be honest here. I mean, are we talking Kelly McGillis or Meg Ryan? It's not even debatable. There's no way you could say Kelly McGillis. I mean, you just have to throw yourself off a bridge at that point, right? You just have to go, I'm crazy, and jump off a bridge. And Rurutu knew exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, we should cue a little Kenny Loggins. That'd be dope. I wonder if I could email Kenny and get well, he doesn't own the rights to that. Paramount probably does. Right? Does anybody, how's those lyrics go? Out there on the edge, always where I burn to be. Huh. Weird. But it will, Oh, hell, man, I don't even know what I was talking about. Goose and Maverick and Top Gun and all this madness. Oh, yeah, so I'm going to spray some of that acrylic onto something. Is that what I was talking about? I don't know. I trailed off. But, hey, that's a good time to segue into something else. Thanks, like I said, thanks to you guys. We're starting to fund more projects, more filming, more videos and stuff like that. I really do have intentions to start making more produced videos. We'll see how that goes once, time starts, availability starts opening up. We'll see what happens. I do have some open project time coming up in 2 weeks. Then I'll actually be taking a break from my main workity work and stepping over to do some other workity work, and hopefully we'll be definitely doing a lot of fish tankery type event thingy majiggers while that goes on. So I'll definitely be filming all of that and bringing it up and doing live streams, and hopefully I'll be able to do some live streams in the day for those of you that are not exactly on the Pacific Standard Time. Oh man, I broke this. But also a better segue would be, y'all asked for the Patreon, and I already had a Patreon. So there is the Patreon. That is probably the most effective way to, other than super chatting directly, you guys can just contribute a couple of bucks a month, 20 bucks a month, $100. I put a $10,000 option in there in case you're super duper rich. You can just go ahead and throw that in there. Now, the main reason, we have 2 goals on there on the Patreon page itself. The first goal is pretty straightforward. It's we're trying to hit $289 a month, which is going to cover our hosting fee, whatever you want to call it. Host fees are trying to get new software fees and the whatchamacallit, and the new capture card. That's our goal right now, is to get the new capture card to hook up the nicer cameras, you know what I'm saying, that I have here. I just can't put them in to anything. Whoa, it turned on. Oh, hey, man, I'm taking pictures of the internet. I'm taking pictures of the internet while I'm on the internet. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let me, Oh, yeah, hey, hold still. Don't be ridiculous. Oh, of course, I had it on camera mode. Video camera mode. Now it shoots faster. There we go. We'll get some action shots of the internet. Yeah. I didn't realize that was sitting there on. But we'll be able to hook that stuff in and get it rolling. And that is that first goal. That second goal seems insane, right? Second goal seems a little bit crazy, right? 26,000. That is the goal in order to get rolling on a 22,000 gallon tank. And now the reason for that is, it sounds absurd, right? Yes, it's a little bit crazy to do a 22,000 gallon tank, but we have the itemized invoice right now. In order to go, we just need to get money. Now, the reason I want to do this 22,000 gallon tank, it is a shipping container, right? That means this is the great thing about this shipping container. It's kind of an idea to be able to scape a tank, grow a tank, set it up, and then it's also modular in the fact that we'd be able to ship it to places, put it on a semi, and drive it places, and be able to, hopefully be driving around the country with a big-ass fish tank and acting a fool on the road. So that's that big-ass goal. If that seems weird to you, that's why that goal is outlandishly large, because we're trying to go big, and that's what we want to do. Right now, the only obstruction in my way of that is funding the damn thing. So if you guys want to do that, cool. If you don't, that's cool too, because I'll just be pawning off my kidneys over here in the meantime, trying to grow some more kidneys so I can pass them off to somebody else and hopefully figure out, well, drive around for a little while and find the black market where you sell your kidneys anyhow, right? I don't have directions, but I assure you I'll drive around and find the black market where I could sell my kidneys, but but that's what the Patreon page is all about. if anybody's confused. The cool thing about the Patreon page that I like, and most of the people that I contribute to on Patreon, is because we're able to see the progress of how things are coming along. I think that is really one of the really cool things about it, is that it has a disclosure on there. You can actually go and see, like, hey, man, we're really close to this goal. What's going on? And it's like, yeah, man, we're almost there. Cool, we almost got it. Blah, now it's going to happen. Blah, and you can go there and check the progress and see what's going on. So I think that's a really cool part of it. And it's ongoing. One of the big things for that is I don't want anything to ever be behind a paywall, if that makes sense to y'all. If you know what a paywall is, it's like, you have to pay to get in. Like, Netflix isn't free. You got to have a paid subscription every month in order to go to Netflix. I don't ever want to have anything behind a paywall. I don't like paywalls. I don't think that's crazy. That's cool. So it's set up that way. And then if anybody out there is really concerned about a prize at the end of the rainbow, basically the top 10 at the end of this 90-day period, which may seem bizarro to people, but after this 90-day period, the top 10 people are going to get some stuff that I'm going to make for them, some schwaggity swag. So blah, 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 that's that whole thing. The other way is to go to darkstararts.com and click through the Amazon banner, blah, blah, blah. I've already talked about this shit ad nauseum, so I'll shut up about it. Aquarium Co-op is saying make sure you check out the Aquarium Co-op newsletter tomorrow. Oh, surprises. No, actually, all the more like advertising someone else. Oh. Well, I don't know if I'm on the Aquarium Co-op newsletter. Like, somebody could forward it to me. I don't know if I'm on there or not. Maybe I am. I don't know. I get so many damn emails these days. I don't know. Am I? Let me see. I don't know. I can't answer that. But maybe we'll figure it out. I'll message Corey. You message it to me, or I'll message you, or whatever. Either way. Oh yeah, will the newsletter have Jimmy swimming in the 800 gallon? I think that's pretty smart. I would have done the exact same thing, I have to admit. I would have thrown him right in there as soon as he showed up. Probably needed a shower. He's probably stinky from the road. So it was probably good to throw him in there, I think. At least get the grime, the road grime, being on the road would have been probably pretty good. Rutu's saying, I want to see that shipping container pond. Yeah, me too. I want to see that too. I've priced out a couple of other things as far as building on some of the property to build a building. I'm also going to pour a gigantic concrete pad for all of that nonsense when that goes down, and that's on this guy right here. So I'll be covering that portion amongst all the electrical, plumbing, and all that other stuff that definitely needs to go into it. Well, that is a good question, Matthew. Can Jimmy get ick? I don't think he can get ick from swimming in nasty water, but a friend of mine did get a weird skin infliction from duck shit from swimming in a grody lake, which we had to coin the phrase "duck shit on balls" because that just seemed right, because that's what ended up happening to him. He thought he had an STD, but it wasn't. It was from swimming in a dirty pond. I won't go into too many of the details, but I think you get the idea. Luckily, the doctors knew what to do and took plenty good care of him, and he managed to survive. We didn't have to throw him off a bridge, which is good. And he didn't go the way of Goose either. Yeah, he survived. He survived the madness, which is pretty good. We do have a couple of video clips here tonight, which is so much better than Tuesday's live stream. We have some video clips we're going to go through, and I don't know. Now seems like a great time to get to them, so let's do that. Aha! Here's this water filter I was talking to you guys. Hey, man, this is the wrong video clip. What did you do? Huzzah! There we go. Technical difficulties from the button pusher over here. I was a natural born button pusher and lever puller, which is why I was born for this job. Sorry. We start over there on this little part. Here's this water filter, y'all. Here's this water filter I've been talking to y'all about. We got some of these canisters here. Here's how to put them together. Here's me putting them together. I don't really know how long this video is. Oh, it's only 8 minutes and 44 seconds long. Okay, so I got plenty of time to talk about what's going on. Okay, so we got these canisters in, and a lot of people were asking, you know, why would I skip the RO, the reverse osmosis portion of the filtering? And mainly for that reason is I'm going to set up a filter for every single tank in here, an inline filter that will feed all of the tanks for the specific setup that they are. So, for instance, the reef tank here needs 2 DIs and two deionizing chambers and 1 particulate filter. So the first filter going on here is a 1 micron particulate filter, which is just going to essentially grab anything that happens to be in the water. There really doesn't seem to be much in our water here in Western Washington that once it's coming out the tap, there's really nothing really visible going on with it. But over hundreds and hundreds of gallons, this thing will turn doo-doo brown. Similar to what my fish tank looks like after I mess around with the plants. So we end up with a Choco Piz dirty old filter, and we take it out and we throw it away. I think they can be recycled or composted. I think these ones, these specific ones, not the charcoal ones or the DI resin, but these ones can be composted, I believe. I'm gonna have to look into that before I trip over my own trippy McTripperton Talkie McTucker mouth. But I believe they can be composted. I'm not 100% sure. But as you can see, you just kind of line up the ins and outs. You need a good wrapping of plumber's tape on these plastic pipes. You got to go round, lots of plumber's tape, lots of Teflon plumber's tape. You can use Teflon. You can use plumber's putty. I don't know where mine was, so I just use tape because I have rolls of Teflon tape all over the place. They're everywhere. They're in all of my tool bags. They're in my truck. They're all over the shop. I have tons of Teflon tape all over the place, so I just use those. But the downside to the Teflon tape is you're going to have to roll it, and just keep putting more and more on there. It does take a little bit. And just remember, there is only one way to put the Teflon tape on. You want to put it on in the direction that it gets tighter when you screw it down, if that makes sense to your brain. If not, then you want to hold the pipe in your left hand, and then you want to go this direction, whatever the heck that is. I guess when you look straight at it, that's clockwise. So you go over and under, over and under, over and under, away from yourself. Does that make sense? I guess it makes sense. It seems to screw up people a lot. Oh, hey. Shit, I'm doing it right there. Look at that. I'm actually doing it on the camera. Oh, man. I guess that's a pretty good description of how to do it. If I videotape it with a camera, that's a pretty good deal, right? Who's blowing me up over here? Something's happening over here. I don't know. Okay, there we go. Stop doing that. Whatever that is. All right. But as I was saying, especially with this plastic pipe and these plastic pieces getting inserted into, you gotta make sure to do a lot of tape. Oh, Jennifer, can never get the end of the tape to not be funky. Well, if you're going the correct direction, okay, once you put the tape on, now here's a little trick I can tell you to kind of tighten it up. Once you get it wound nicely on there, you've held it in place, you got a bunch on there, put your fingers on it and then screw it like you're tightening it down with your fingers on there, and that will actually tighten it up to have it just be in a nice smooth insertion. Think of it as like Astroglide for Teflon tape. But if that makes sense to you, normally that's what I do, and I probably do it somewhere here in the video, but having, you know, it's not the easiest thing for me to watch the video and talk about it at the same time, but that is a little trick that will probably help you, and I know it's helped a lot of people out that I've mentioned it to over the years. They're like, oh, hey, I can smooth it out like that and make sure it's nice and tight before I go screwing it into something. So hopefully that will help you out in your future plumbing endeavors. But my whole reason for showing this is just showing people how to put this dang thing together. And obviously I probably should have time-lapsed a little bit, but not a big deal. Seating these filters inside here is can be a little bit wonky when you get to the third one for whatever reason. The first two are always fine. The third one's always the pain in the butt. And I do have a wrench for these somewhere, but typically with my hands I can get them tight enough that they're tight enough and don't leak. I just reef them down with my hands and it'll be okay. So as you can see here, so the first chamber is actually the particulate filter, and then the DI resin, the deionization resin, is the next two final chambers in there. And I want the two chambers of this for the reef tank water. This is for the reef tank water. This isn't for a planted tank or a fresh tank. This is actually just for the reef tank. So for the planted tank, it's essentially going to be kind of this setup with a particulate in the first one and charcoal in the second one is going to be the big deal with that. Carson Anderson has arrived. What is up, my man? Chat moderator extraordinaire. Father of the Year candidate. Not the winner. Candidate. Carson Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Take the red pill, my man. Okay, so here on the end of this little filter deal, that right there is a spigot. That's a faucet. That is a faucet that goes right on the end. And guess what? That weird thing on the top there is what turns the water on. I know I can be a pain in the ass sometimes, but that is the outlet, which works in my world very well so far. Probably works about as half, maybe not half as fast, maybe half to 2/3 as fast as the standard faucet. Plastic housing, Carson gets a plastic faucet. Plastic. Where these two meet, always want to have the same material is always a good idea. Sometimes impossible, but always a good idea. This little ditty of a video here is me actually showing you guys just kind of a full walkthrough of the chaos right now, and I was explaining earlier that the chaos is kind of next level right now, so I'm in the midst of cleaning and organizing and getting ready to build the rest of the stand for the 180 so we can get the 180 rocking here very, very soon. That is our ICB container. We plan on adding one more. That thing holds 338 gallons. Here are some of our garden areas actually getting sorted out. That is a chicken. If you've ever seen a chicken before, this is our potato experiment this year. Eventually, this is going to be completely filled with potting soil and all that. This is blueberries right here. Those are our two little new addition blueberries on the end. and that whole area is going to get a bed. Here's 2 of the raised beds we built a while ago, getting filled up with, we're filling them up with a product called Tagro, which Tacoma Agriculture actually gets all of the wastewater leavings and burns them or heats them up or whatever. Here's those weird hops I was telling you guys about earlier in the week. And then the lovely Victoria, look out, woman. I'm headed right for you with a camera. So here's the old pond. This is the old pond. This was completely filled with rocks, and this is where the new pond is going to go. All the rocks are out of there. I'm actually going to be digging this out into a giant, deep rectangle and adding the liner into it very, very soon. Don't know having an exact planned date yet of when this will be done. Obviously, we have to get the mother-in-law moved and that stuff handled first before anything else really can get done. That little square that I'm showing you right there is where the greenhouse is going to go. And you saw me shoot the faraway shot of the water container. That's where the water from all the fresh water tanks goes. It'll be heading across underneath the yard into the greenhouse here, where the filter will be for the pond, and the aquaponics will actually come back up into the greenhouse. So now the video starts over, and it gets confusing. Because I just started over again, guys. And then we go back to the beginning. Rutu is asking, nice plants, where are all the stuff you can't show on the internet? Well, actually, if you're speaking of like marijuana or something like that, it's actually legal where I live to grow marijuana if you want. I'm a sober guy, so I don't grow marijuana, although I have in the past in different applications for whatever you want to, whatever that means. It doesn't really matter at this point. Non-incriminating for me to say that I have done it. But it is legal here, so I could show it on the internet if I had anything like that, which I do not. So, you know, I can't eat it, you know, so it seems kind of pointless to me to grow it. If it's not a decorative plant, and you can't eat it, which I know is debatable for some people, that some people eat hemp or whatever. I don't. Since you can't eat it, I'm not motivated to grow it. And it's not really a cash crop in this state, realistically. In the fact of how much that you can put into an operation is just not going to pay off these days, considering there's just a ton of it on the market, and there's a ton of people doing it. You'd probably be better growing blueberries, realistically, in this state. You'd probably be better off just growing a bunch of blueberries and selling those. Although, I will say, we went to a blueberry farm a little while ago, and they were making blueberry ice cream. And I'm very jealous of those guys' operation, because not only were they they were growing the blueberries, they were making the blueberry ice cream. They had an ice cream stand with espressos at it, so you could get espresso and ice cream, which that's legendary. That is a legendary maneuver, and I definitely dug what those guys were doing there. Rutu is asking, oh, sorry, I didn't answer your question, man. So it's an analog water filter. When am I going to upgrade to digital roadie? I probably won't ever I do have an RODI unit, which I may or may not get. I don't know if or when I'll switch over to a roadie or not, because I don't think that I really need it here, and I don't like the wastewater. I don't like the wastewater that pushes off from the RO membrane, and we don't really. The TDS is so low here in our water, and it's also you know, there's really no salinity in our water, which is one of the big things for pushing a RO on the front end. The DI is the big part that I need here on our water system. Let's go ahead and switch over to the next portion of the video. I actually just had the that filter I was just showing you guys sitting there while I was doing a water change, which is hilarious. Flip Aquatics is here. Mr. Lup Diesel himself. What's going on, dude? Hey, congrats on all the success, man. It's fucking badass. And sorry to hear about your grandfather passing away. That sucks. I've been through that, and that is no fun. Mine are all dead except for one, and I'm hopefully driving to Boise, Idaho, not this weekend, but the following weekend to go visit her. She is quite old and refuses to leave her home, so she lives by herself. So we'll see how that goes. But I am still in the hunt for shrimp. I was going deep into the hunt for shrimp, and I just decided that it was a huge waste of my time to be emailing people, talking to people, negotiating with people on prices, and decided that I am just going to go the local route. That was my decision I made on Tuesday. It was realistically what I was going to be up to as far as the shrimp go. I'm not going to get super anal about the type. I'm just going to get crystals and tigers and mix them together and end up with crazy weird shrimp. But I am all for collaboration or buying something if that is in the works. But realistically, I'm not trash talking anybody specifically. It was just becoming a huge pain in the ass to, like, I was messaging like 15 different people, and it was just turning into pure chaos, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. Considering all the customers that I have to deal with on a daily basis, I was starting to get people confused, and that was not going well. So what I ended up doing is just going like, hey man, I don't need a pure line. I don't need this. The shrimp I was specifically looking for were blue pandas and green hulks. Those are the two that I was really looking for. And the only ones that I could find either had 5 shrimp and wanted $50 a shrimp, which is just not cool. And or were out. So I just decided, screw it. I'm just going to start breeding whatever shrimp and getting them rolling, because I'm tired of not having shrimp in my house. I do have some cherry shrimp in this tank right here. So okay, well, we can that is something that we could work out. I don't mind imports. I don't mind importing shrimp and stuff like that. That's not a huge ordeal. If it's worthwhile, I'll definitely be on board for doing something along those lines. Wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Sergeant Tank's here. What's up? Forgot to say hi. Forgot to say hi to you, my man. Howdy, and thanks for coming out. But yeah, I'm down to collaborate on any kind of project. Maybe just shoot me an email with like some prices or something, and when maybe you'd get them in or something, and we can figure that out. But yeah. Uh-oh. Mr. Gillett had a meeting. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah. Yeah, just message me your phone number and I'll call you back at whatever time is good for you. Oh, Renan's got to go to bed. Sorry, man. But I just realized that this video right here that was playing in the background was just the water change. And I don't think anybody's really excited about my water change system, which is just totally garbage right now. It's actually just a couple of hoses and a pump. But it is still much easier than lugging around buckets, I'll tell you that much. It is way easier to do that. Carson's asking when will I be finishing my stands. As soon as I get some time to do some woodworking here at home. I've been doing a lot of woodworking out in the field, and I have not had very much time to do any kind of woodworking here at home. But hopefully I'm going to finish my stands when I finish the 180 this weekend, if that works. Because either the mother-in-law is gonna get moved tomorrow, and that's gonna be all good, which will free up Saturday to get going on these projects, or that means I gotta do heavy lifting and driving around on Saturday, which I can't. Okay, it's not impossible to drive a car on the freeway and do woodworking, but I just wouldn't recommend it. That's another reason why we need automated cars. We need automated self-driving cars so we can do woodworking whilst motoring along and moving mother-in-laws. She's actually moving out pretty far. She's moving out pretty far. So looks like we ran through the video portion really quickly, which was kind of unexpected. I thought I had a lot more video. Renan said, I got to get up early tomorrow morning to go to Tacoma. Oh, I live in Tacoma. Renan's coming to Tacoma tomorrow? Should have set up a coffee date with me, because I'll swing by on a coffee date, because I do have to run to CenturyLink and throw one of their modems through their front window tomorrow morning or afternoon, or whenever I go to do that. But should have set up a coffee date with me. If you're in Tacoma, set up a coffee date with me, because I'll come by and have an espresso. That is for sure. But yeah, Mr. Lup Diesel, Rob Flip, I don't know what to call you. Rob, just message me your phone number and I'll call you back, or text you or something. I'll text you a picture of a picture that my lady painted, or I'll just text you a picture of that shrimp over there. That one right there. Speaking of that, hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'm going to have actually a little bit of time to finish this painting back here. That thing needs to get off my easel. It is driving me nuts that every time I do this live stream, it is the same damn thing in the background. It is pissing me off. It's not done. It is actually, once it's finished, I already have like 2 people that want to buy it, so they're pissed that I'm not done with it. So, I gotta get that thing done. So I'm hoping maybe tomorrow night I'll stay up super late and shoot a bit of a time lapse to finish this thing out. Cole Schramm is here. Hey, what's up? Flip, cool, man. Yeah, just email me that and I'll get it. And then yeah, I'll text you back, or I'll call you, whichever way you like. That's fine by me. But I honestly, so fish update. So far, I'm like waving this thing around. So far, the killifish are practicing breeding, otherwise known as humping for sport. But it seems like they will be very soon spawning all over that 240-gallon tank, which leaves me a bit of a situation here, because those fish, once they breed, they aren't going to last very long after the big spawn. I think they're biannual, and they are pretty big right now. So I was actually thinking about this while I was working the other day, that if memory suits me, and I probably should have just looked this up before I talked about it, but maybe I'm wrong. You guys can correct me. Let me know if I'm wrong here. But after they spawn, they only last a short period of time after they've fully done their sputum, whatever you want to call it, and don't last that long after the fact. So they're all fully grown, which, like I was saying, that's going to leave me with a bit of a conundrum, because I'm going to have a big spawn of killies, which is cool. But them fully grown, they are pretty aggressive fish. So I'm going to keep them in this tank and hopefully raise some stuff with them as their babies once they get to, whatever adolescent period. It will be a really good time for me to be adding in stuff once I've got it, once I've got them, quarantined or whatever, as long as I know there aren't parasites or any of that kind of thing. There are a bunch of fish that I could add that if they all kind of grow up together, that they'll be relatively okay. So, and then I got to see if I can probably sell some of them. Will be an issue. But from what I can tell, I asked around a little bit. Most people find these fish very difficult to sell. So I'm not really sure if I end up with a ton of these fish and nobody wants to buy them and then they start breeding like crazy. Here's the other opportunity that I was thinking about, that I might end up moving these to the pond. Because all I would really need to do is maintain the pond around 70 degrees for them to be relatively okay, which means I'm only going to have to lift 18 to 20 degrees all year round out of the heater in there, which should be relatively easy from the heating diagram that I have set out. So that might be a viable option, and then bring in some whatchamacallits. What's the word? Koi fish down the road instead of doing them right off the bat. But here's the thing. If I have a pond with heated temperature at that point, then I'm trying to think of what would be an ideal thing to breed out there that wouldn't be too, too maintenance needy, I guess, would kind of be the kind of thing. So the thing that kind of popped in my head would be like cherry shrimp, because cherry shrimp, everybody always needs cherry shrimp, and that might be a viable thing to put in there. Carson's saying white clouds, like the mountain minnows, those guys could probably go in there. I don't know that they, I mean, the other day I saw white clouds for sale for 10 for $1, which I almost said just give me the whole tank and I'd just put them all into the 240, and then I'd already have a gigantic school in that tank. But so that leads to a bit of a conundrum that I would end up with a ton of white clouds that would end up just being feeder fish, which, I mean, what would I sell those for? 2 cents a piece or something? Or something along those lines. So I was thinking that cherry shrimp might be kind of a redeemable thing to breed in there, because if I had, I don't know, let's say I had 10,000 shrimp in there, you could pretty easily pull out 2,000 to 3,000 of them and sell them pretty readily, because most places would take a large number of cherry shrimp. Plecos, that might be a good. Maybe some plecos. That's a good point. I didn't even think about doing plecos or anything. Yeah, because I could do some pretty specific breeds of plecos in that big of a water volume and not really be too worried about them. Because I could actually just add a bunch of wood and good hidey caves for them and stuff, and I think they would be pretty well to do. And they would breed pretty well if they have a good enough dark areas and stuff in there, so that might actually be a good idea. So yeah, I guess maybe I would just need to get a hold of a bunch of kind of rare plecos and then just check on them next year. Okay, that is a good point. I'm gonna write that down. All right, let's write this down. I'm gonna write the pleco idea down, guys, because I don't think the minnows would work, but I think plecos for the pond would be a good idea. Plecos for pond. I'll write it all gangster here with some marks underneath it and some exclamation marks and the number 4, like for sale. There we go. South Carolina cichlids, SCC. Convicts breed in toilet water, and people buys those like crazy. Oh, that's a good idea. Jennifer J. Longfin red plecos. I'll buy some when you get babies. Oh, that's a good idea. I could probably do the longfin reds. I would be concerned about trying to keep my pH high enough in a big pond like that outside in this area with the big water changes I would do on it. I think the big issue I would end up with, is trying to keep the pH real high out there, and then like the water volume, the water that I'd be dumping into it would be either neutral or a little low pH, especially for cichlids. And cichlids are kind of idiots with the amount of birds around here, so that I would worry about. So I think I think fancy plecos would probably be our best bet and least crazy maintenance. And I could also, the Achilles could be in there with them if that ends up being the case as things move along. I'm trying to get a little foreshadowing here of what I may or may not need to do down the line here, which is something I've tried to explain to a lot of people. Like, I'm like, try to think about the future of where your tank is going and what's happening. Oh, Captain Spicy McBunghole is here. Spicy McBunger, what's up? And Janice Blakely. Janice Blakely has entered the room. I got to change my voice for Janice because I don't know. It's my first time I've ever seen Janice in the chat. Hello. Try not to be. Don't take me too seriously. It's okay. So Achilles, plecos, and shrimp should all be okay together. Yeah, I mean the Achilles would eat the shrimp like crazy. That's the one issue that I would have along those lines. But I could always take the Achilles out of the big tank and put shrimp into the big tank in the garage. But at the same time, Carson, I reserve my surprises for super chatters because my throat. Oh, I need some of that throat coat tea. What the? Hold on a second. Somebody's saying surprises outside. Hey, man. Surprises! There's young ladies outside knocking on my window. It's the nieces. It's the nieces. It's KK and Banana. Ah, the young ladies were knocking on the window just to be funny. And they are funny. They're lovely ladies. Very, very nice young gals. They're good kids. Uh-oh. Surprises! I don't know where Vicky is. It was like far off. It was far off. Oh man, the internet's lagging tonight. Sergeant Tank, thanks for your super chat, man. I appreciate it. I certainly do. And it's all going back in here. And if anybody was not on earlier, as you can see here, now we have 2 matching microphones in order to have someone else talking to this one from over, maybe from over there. Oh, ow. That thing is stronger than I thought. That is from your guys' contributions. I mean, I paid for it, but it's from your guys' contributions. We have a second mic, and I personally bought a bunch of networking stuff so that I can expand the network here. Those of you guys that were not on the live stream earlier, got a bunch of networking going in to expand the private network here so that I can live stream like from my cell phone like out in the Fishroom and stuff, if there's short live streams and stuff like that coming up. And I can also give you guys some live updates on projects that are going on. There are some cool stuff coming down the line that will be worthwhile to know live, that there was like a giant cement truck in the backyard. Like, here it is plopping out of the chute. You know, live. And one of the big things with that is the hold on. I'm not very smooth about doing this with you guys are all watching. It's so weird. Patrons, there they are. I was missing the button. So I just posted into the chat. That is the Patreon link right there. And I want to give a shout out to all of our current patrons on the Patreon page. That is Long Woo, Steven Skoglund, Aquarium Co-op, Joel Gillett, JT. The first patron was Mden Hollander and Karen KZ Ellis. Those are all of our current patrons, and thank you very much, guys, for contributing there. Our big time goal is our big time goal is the $26,000 goal. So to do a 22,000 gallon tank here at the building, we have the invoice for it. We just need the funds to throw that thing through. South Carolina, it's midnight over there. Have a good night. Thank you for coming out. Get some sleep. I'm actually going to be heading off here fairly soon. We have about 3 minutes left on the live stream until I have to bid you adieu and not eat ice cream tonight. I have to stay off the ice cream tonight, you guys. I had ice cream already yesterday, and I can't have ice cream again today because I'm an adult. And I can have those things if I want because I'm an adult, but as an adult, I shall abstain tonight so I can have ice cream tomorrow, maybe. I'll just have a nice ice water. Well, the last 3 minutes, you got to get any kind of questions or anything in. I already said thanks to all the subscribers. Thanks for everybody coming out. Mr. Robert Flip Aquatics, I will be calling you, well, oh, yeah, there's your phone number. Okay, I've got your phone number. I'll give you a call, Flip, fairly soon. Oh, and he's got some prices here. Cool. Oh, he's got prices for blue pandas and green hulks. Okay, cool. That sounds good. Blue pandas are really what I'm going for anyhow. So, okay. But thank everybody for coming out. Have a great night. And hopefully we'll have some more interesting stuff tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be rockscaping the reef, and you all can get a chance to look at some of the... Whoa, it's earthquake. Oh, some of the rockscaping that is going into the reef. Special thanks to Eddie Kaitia. I'm glad to see you back on the internet, and thank you for the super chat also. But otherwise, I'm just glad to see you back, man. Sergeant Tank, thank you for the super chat. Surprises! Sometimes I sneeze surprises here by the end. But thank you, everybody, for your contributions. Have a great night, and kiss your pets, and love your whatever. Love the one you're with. Do 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 do. And now we all got to prepare ourselves for the later, 'cause I can't find the later button, 'cause the later button is later.